Chicago, only way cucumbers, trouble wars, have a spring mine. From down here with a friend of mine, D. He didn't know. He said he didn't know. You said you didn't know we didn't have. He didn't know we didn't have coats on. Yeah, so you can live outside. You see, the sun is out. That's why we outside because like you gotta live outdoors. We don't have coats on. Also, we don't have masks on. You gotta live outdoors and breathe. Bad breath, bad no breath. So, you know, uh, like I said, some people like scary movies, D, because they like being scared. The whole world is watch the news and got you see. I put that out there yesterday. You check that out again. Some people watch scary movies because they like being scared. And then when you go go to the show, watch a movie. Fear is a dark room with developed negatives. Usually the back scenes of a scary movie is dark, right? And that's what the world is caught up in. You get trapped in the masses, and people they want to live in the mass, out of fear. I used to run home and watch. It was called Dark Shadows. Remember Dark Shadows? It was a movie. It was a scary thing called Dark Shadows. I used to run and watch that. 'Cause like I said, people like being scared. But see, today, I don't live in fear. I live in faith. Wear the world like a loose garment, because they talk about now that's see what's going on in the news. Watch it. Get out of there. Get the weather. Come out there. Learn. Like I said, I ain't got no coat on the day. I moved my body half an hour. Now this guy right here, D, saw me when I started riding his bike. I took action.
Yes, sir.
Remember that?
Yes, sir.
Action. See, a thought without action is just a thought. So I ride a bike 7 days a week because I had a military stepfather. That's a discipline. So science don't control my mind. I used to go to the refrigerator and they said, keep your hands out to certain foods I could eat. So science do not control my mind. If you don't control your mind, somebody else will control you. So if you watch TV all day long, D, that's an obsession. Now they're talking about the war. But see, it's wars in Chicago with the sanctuary city. You got the legalized marijuana. You got the $1 billion sold on West Side, made $1 billion. Alcohol killed 3.2 million people worldwide. They don't talk about that. So the art of war is the art of deception, trickery of the mind, smoke and mirrors. I tell you something else going on, but see, really, when wars is really fought, wars are always fought by money, gas and oil. But it's a war going on in the streets right now. Kids was trapped in isolation with these masks on, couldn't breathe. And that's why, D, and that's why I see all these mandates was slam dunked by the Supreme Court, because it was not it was not the law. Because you had laws when using the game, She got laws you got to follow. See, we trust in God. We don't trust in man. See, the world is full of trickery. And like I said yesterday, I remember watching this movie, I got a lot out of it, but when you had the Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain was a little bit man trying to call shots, but he was living in the smoke and mirrors. He was just a little man, and that's what's going on in the world. So everybody want to be a gangster now, but nobody want to,
Everybody want to be the boss.
yeah, everybody want to be boss. Everybody want to be a king. You know what I'm saying?
But have no sense of direction.
Yeah, no direction. See, I can only control me. I must control my emotions, and my emotions will control me. See, science don't control me.
Let me ask you this, Mike.
Yeah.
You said that if we don't control our minds, somebody else will.
Yeah,
So for me, listening to that, it's saying that they legalize weed, they got alcohol, they got all these things that try to divert our mind from what our primary purpose in life should be, right? And that's to protect our souls, right? I lose my mind out here in the world with either stuff, things, peoples, drugs, alcohol, and it takes my concentration on, and I'm wondering why I'm going crazy.
Because see, a sense of devotion and chasing, but certain thing leads to excitement, excitement. So you're looking for something outside you, you find out happiness comes from within. Nothing outside me can bring me inner happiness. See, the sun gonna rise whether you like it or not. Like I said yesterday, that guy who created that store down there called Apple, he said, I created this massive $1 billion. It don't matter if you got a $7,000 watch on or $10 watch. It both is going to tell the same time. So we talk about illusion. See, I was a person I deal with smoke screens, mirrors, traffic, image illusion. Sometimes when you watch the news, you watch an illusion, because people will trick you. That's why St. Patrick's Day coming out. Watch all these bars be, booming. See, alcohol, they made $250 billion off alcohol. 1929, the Great Depression, when alcohol was illegal, and Capone was on the kid city. and they they was running the bootleggers. It was illegal to drink alcohol. The government took control of it. Now they legalize it. Now that's what I'm saying. That's essential. Like that train going past. That train is still moving because it's a federal thing, But it's a lot of madness on that train. See, it's madness behind the mask. It's madness on that train. Even though it's keep moving, you got the people on there smoking weed, because of the sanctuary city. Got people on the trains sticking up people. People getting murdered on the train. So we got wars going on right here. A girl got shot in the back of the head last night. Back of the head on the south side. See, we got to worry about things. Yeah, Chicago. See, things that happen in Chicago, but we focus sending money somewhere, way out and hitting a distant place. But they got to, like on trains, they need security because you got, like I said, people out there just wild, wild west. So you got to think. It's like chess move, Your mind's got to be sharp, you know what I'm saying? So that's why the legalizing marijuana is to slow your mind down. So if you can't remember what happened 20 years ago, how you going, you know what I'm saying? You can't, you know what I'm saying? See, I studied a lot of books. See, I trained my mind. Even when I was drinking, I was studying Aristotle. See, it said, they are merely cattle in clothes who do not study. See, if you're not studying, you're going to be a cattle and you're going to follow the crowd. So sometimes you got to go opposite the crowd. So I'm sitting out in the sun by myself because, educated man's man, certain spiritual qualities, which makes him calm and diversity, happy and alone. So the peace that comes from, peace is inside you. Peace ain't going to come from the White House or the politicians. It's inner peace. So you got to pray and meditate. So I'm going to give you a meditation. It's going to come up March 30th. But see, I can use this meditation. See, you can't change God. You might change some things, you might change cell phone numbers or something, but you can't change God. You can't change meditations. That's why the problem was with these face mask mandates and stuff like that, because it was man-made. It wasn't, you can't change, Constitution. Because we, like on a dollar bill, they said, in God we trust. So you can't change God, So meditation coming up, I'm gonna give it to you off of memory, because see, nowadays you got to have something in your mind so you could, not a rap song. Don't memorize a rap song, because rap ain't gonna do you no good out here in the streets. You got to think on your feet. It said March 30th. It's coming up. This is March. Be calm, be true, be quiet. Do not get emotionally upset by anything that happens around you. Feel the goodness and purpose of the universe. Be true to your highest ideals. Do not let yourself slip back into old ways of reacting. Stick to your spiritual guns. Be calm always. Do not talk back, defend yourself too much against accusation, whether false or true. Accept criticism as well as you accept praise on the God can judge the real you. So it's talking about not reacting. Don't let yourself slip back into old ways of reacting. The penitentiaries are full of men and women because they have react. Meditation of the masters, I always talk about this meditation because, see, meditation, you study this every day. Even Confucius says study is never going to master, it's fear of losing it. See, fear of losing it. Meditation of the master. It said, if one wears shoes, the pebbles on the road not harm his feet. If one remains calm under any conditions, the pebbles in life will not cause you pain. So you get that emotional balance. When you go to Bhagavad Gita, talks about one is not disturbed in spite of misery. One is not elated with the happiness, free from attachment, fear, and anger. That's the Bhagavad Gita. Go on Confucius. Great men are completely at ease. Petty men are always on the edge. Confucius said one must change because of happiness or wisdom. Go back, you listening? Going back to King Solomon. A wise man controls his temper. He knows anger causes mistakes. A fool is quick tempered. A wise man stays cool when insulted. To be wise is good, meaning rich. In fact, it's better. You can get anything by the wisdom of money, but being wise has many advantages. So I got the train coming around now. Then you get hit by a train. When you get hit by a train, it is not the last car to caboose that kills a person. It's always the first car, the engine, that kills a person. It's like cigarettes. 8 million people die from cigarettes. 1 billion people hooked on cigarettes. So the compulsion means you're doing something against your will. When they say he's a compulsive gambler, he's gambling against his will. I haven't gambled in 32 years. I don't know the horse name of the racetrack, so it's cool to be a square. I don't play scratch out, do lottery numbers. So you got to think, you got to change your thinking. Because see, Cheryl Trinzel says, I have no riches but my thoughts, but yet these wealth are enough for me. So I can be rich in mind and spirit, even though poor worldly goods, through prayer and meditation. And I learned one thing in my lifetime. I'm talking about me now, because see, when you care about people's approval, you become the prisoner. What you think of yourself is much more important than what others think about you. So it's about self-esteem. I not be esteemed in the world. That means I don't need to be applauded in the world. I'm not only here for entertainment purpose. I'm here because I'm trying to talk to you and whoever's looking at this. Because see, it's all about the mind. It's English proverb. It's the riches of the mind that makes a man rich and happy. It's not what you possess, who you are, the position you hold, where you're located at, that makes you happy or unhappy. It's what you think about. You always think about all day long. As a man thinketh, so is he. So our best friends, our worst enemies are our thoughts. A thought can do you more good than a banker, a faithful friend, or a cheerful companion. A thought can also do you more harm than a brick. So my thinking has to be right when your heart is right, your world's right. Now you hear that dog barking now. It's better to be a live dog than a dead lion. And also, much talking is a cause of danger. The parrot is locked up in the cage. Other birds fly freely. And Buddha said, what's the use of claiming something that's yours when even the moon is used as a public light? The fool says, these are my kids and this is my wealth. Well, he himself does not own himself. See, I don't own myself. God owns me. You know what I'm saying? He's the Father in heaven. I'm on borrowed time. So when I went in my grandma's house, 18 years old, in Italian-made suits, pimp stripe suits, 40s. See, even Socrates said something. I like what he said. He said, one must worry less about his clothes, his hair, and his looks, and nurture more his mind and spirit with great thoughts contained in books. I was a person worried about my cars I drove. I had to get car washes every day. My shoe shines. Got 2 haircuts in one day. I went to bed and dreamed about me. So I walked up in my grandmother's house, and talking about, I was self-centered. I went to bed, I dreamed about me. And my grandmother would check me, because she lived and died, never smoked a cigarette, never took a drink, never used drugs. But she saw me because I present my stage character. See, the world is a stage. We're all players. So I come into my grandma's house, sitting and grinning, because I got a grin on my face because I'm full of nonsense. See, because I'm hanging out with guys you call pimps and players. And, I learned the company you keep determine the trouble you meet. So I had the 2 cars, 3 girlfriends. I had the Playboy stickers on my cars and stuff. And my grandma said, Michael, I said, what, grandmama? She said, Michael, a bird can fly so high, but he must come down to get his food. So I crumbled because I wasn't humble. See, sometimes you got to take a fall to make a rise. But there's no fall, there's a rise. So I thank, praise God, the fall I took. I had to lose everything to find this higher power of God that commands his son, no matter what's going on. So the peace is all around you, it's inside you. It's not around you, it's inside you. If you stop, be still, pray and meditate. Every time that sunrise, I think of my life just beginning. When I go to bed, I tell myself this might be my last day on earth, because one day it will be. And I learned one thing through meditations. If I'm depressed, it's because I'm living in the past. See, I don't live in the past. I learn from the past. If I'm anxious, because I'm living in the future. If I'm at peace, because I'm living in the moment. See, sorrow looks back, worry looks around, faith looks up. So worry, anger, and fear blocks me from the sunlight of the spirit. Uncalm times are the only times when evil can find an entrance. How does evil find an entrance? It's through worry, anger, and fear. So, Mike Scott, Chicago, it's cool to be in square. The slow lane is the best lane. Pause for the penitentiary. 99 things outside me I cannot control. 99 things I can control is inside. What do you do to avoid throwing in bad company? Because you're going to be throwing in bad company, whether you're in Beverly Hills or the CTA train. Hold your tongue, use your legs. See, nothing is worth losing peace of mind over. So, Mike Scott, Chicago.